Hey, campers! Hey, campers, welcome back to Camp Insomnia. I am your head camp counselor, Zach.
And I am your head camp counselor, Devin. Hi, hello. We are here again.
Yes, hello, welcome back to camp. We are a paranormal and true crime podcast. And for new campers coming to join us around the campfire, welcome. You came to the right place. And you came to a really cool episode because this is part 2 of SlaughterHouse.
Yeah, I mean, shoot, that first one was pretty gnarly as it is. So if you haven't heard the first one, go check out the first one and then come back because you can't be cheating. It's going to make no sense. So
yeah, exactly. And literally, it's not going to make any sense. Some camp news for everyone. The guy who owns Harold the Haunted Doll is going to be making his book and his experiences into a movie.
No way.
Yes.
When did you find this out?
Just today, of like a couple hours ago on Facebook. Yeah, he posted it.
Oh, wow. Oh, that's going to be interesting. Yeah. But, okay. Just like Annabelle, though, you know, when they dramatized everything. I mean, I hope they keep it authentic. Because all that shit was scary on its own. But I know it's Hollywood. You got to freaking jazz it up a bit.
Oh, yeah. But, I mean, he's already so terrifying enough.
Yeah.
But I'm hoping that maybe he reached out to James Wan, the guy who directs and created like the whole Conjuring universe, because that would be really cool. Not so much be part of the Conjuring universe, but I know that he'd do really good at it. Or even like Guillermo del Toro. That'd be really cool.
Yeah. And keep him as a composition looking doll too, because that's scary. Not like its own. Yeah, exactly. He's fucking terrifying. Yeah, it is.
Other news. I swear I thought I had other news for y'all. No, I think that was. God, I feel like I'm supposed to say something. Anyways, it's rainy here in Montreal, and that's it.
Oh, rain. We have none of that over here. Waiting for it. California needs some moisture.
Yeah, it needs a lot of what the fuck. I know, like when I left, it was still in a drought, and every time we get rain, it's like rain and then mudslides and then flooding.
Yeah.
And then we won't get rain for another 5 years.
Yeah, exactly. So we shall see.
Yeah, we shall see. Well, campers, I just want to, as always, before we crack into this case, give a disclaimer. What? Well, I know we haven't gathered around the campfire yet. Okay, well, what's the news?
Damn, Mr. Head Camp Counselor.
Sorry, just a long episode. Okay, go. What's your news?
We got the new addition to the family.
Oh, that's right.
Yes.
Duh.
We me and my mom and my stepdad unknowingly adopted a new baby kitten that was rescued. Yeah, her name is Little Hera. She's a gray Russian blue, very sweet, very cute, and she will be a good addition to the camp as well. You know, because I think we need some more furry friends at camp. I don't know about you.
Oh yeah, no, we do need more furry friends. I don't know how well a cat is going to help us like defend us against like a creature or like a serial killer, because I know cats are just like, fuck you, you'll die before me.
Hey, they notice all the spooky shit before we do though. Have you ever seen a cat just go up to a wall and just meh, me, and you're like, what the fuck are you looking at?
But then that cat will just lead that demon right to your bed and be like, she's there.
Damn, fine.
So campers, love the cat, but if you want help from said cat, good luck.
Wow, rude. Don't doubt Little Hera.
Dogs aren't any better. Dogs will just bark, yelp, scream, and then like try to bite them and then run away. So
fine, whatever.
I guess.
Whatever you think,
but yes,
Mr. Dogman.
To camp. Oh my god. Welcome Hera to camp. Ooh, we got another kitty.
Yay.
Yeah. Fuck. I had something to add on to that. Last episode you did a shout out, right?
Yeah.
Whoopity doo. And we always give Courtney a shout out. So Courtney, sorry, this is not your time to shine. Neither is your kid. So I want to give a shout out to Amba. Amba just is one of our listeners, and she was telling me she needs to catch up. But Amba loves our podcast, and she just started an internship with people that I did an internship with. That got me my career as of right now, which is working for a motion picture company in Montreal, Canada. And I'm hoping that she does very successful in the internship and that she gets to work with me here in Canada.
Yeah.
So everybody send a lot of positive vibes to Amba, and wish her very well on her internship, because it's a really big deal.
Yes, we are so proud over here at camp.
We're so proud of camp.
And too, I like to throw this out there. Support your local artists, because they need support.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, support artists. You want to send me some money? That'd be great.
Oh my God. We're talking about Amba here too.
Amba. Yeah, Amba too. Send her some money too, but send me more.
I count with you.
Okay. So, as you guys know, part 1, I did add a disclaimer. So this is another disclaimer. Before we even gather around the campfire, I just want to say this now. Just a forewarning, campers, who will be talking about very serious topics such as rape, murder, and other explicit sex acts. If you do not wish to listen, it's totally fine. Devin and I will catch you in a way lighter episode. So listener discretion is advised. All right?
All
right. And if you're sticking around, great. Get ready. This one's rough. All right. So without further ado, let's gather around the campfire.
Oh, are we doing ASMR now?
Yeah, ASMR.
We're horrible.
Yes. Yeah, okay, we're gathered around the campfire. What are we bringing?
We're going to go ahead and bring your blankies. Bring your blankies. Yes. Go ahead and grab a buddy. Cuddle up. Get comfy. Because we in for a bumpy ride, apparently. So, let's see. Tip for camp. Based on what I already know of what's going on in this craziness. I got to sneeze.
Yeah, from part 1.
I got to sneeze.
Oh, bless you. Holy shit. The Holy Ghost just sneezed out of you.
Oh, all the demons. Okay, tip for camp. Let's do a mental health check-in. I think I did one slightly before. Go ahead and regularly give yourself a mental health check. Every day, see how you're doing. Ask yourself some questions. Hey, am I okay? How am I feeling? And based on that, perform whatever self-care you need in a healthy, positive way. And don't forget to have the support of your friends and family and those who love you.
Exactly. And another great way to perform self-care is to Venmo me at Zachary/H $200. Because my self-care is people providing me money. So thank you, campers.
You toxic ass.
Let's crack into this. I had to compress over 40 chapters.
Oh my God.
There's a lot I left out. But again, if you guys want to read the book, it's called Altered Grace. You can get it on Amazon. You can actually get it for free through Kindle. Amazon's not sponsoring us, but you can definitely do that if you want to. It's a very, 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 very dark read. There's a couple times I almost cried, and that's being real. So campers, let's do a little recap from part 1. Both Clayton and Beatrice had fucked up childhoods. I mean, it was fucked. I think we can all agree to that. Clayton had killed his sergeant from the army, and Beatrice's dreams about death and blood as a means of escape was beautiful to her. Boom! Suddenly they meet. Wow. Gross. They move into a home, and that was more than likely haunted. They dipped. They got the fuck out of there. And then suddenly they moved on to Clayton's mother's land. There's a house there. They had 2 kids. Boom. Clayton's super religious now, and if the family doesn't follow along, Clayton will beat the shit out of them. So that is where we left off in part 1. All right? So, everybody get cozy, because fucking part 2 is rough, girl.
Oh, God. Here we go.
Right. Here we go. Okay, cool. So, let's crack into this. So, Clayton would start his own business and start gathering men that were just drunk enough and not coherent to say at all to say no to his offer at all.
Okay.
Some of the men he picked up even stopped working at their old jobs, logging for half the pay because they liked Clayton so much and because they were obviously drunk. He would pay them. He would literally pay them in half and then also give them a bunch of booze so they would shut up.
Oh, well, yeah, that's like an incentive.
Yeah, exactly. Oh my God, Clayton's the best. He gets me drunk. Yeah, literally. Beatrice would then go into more sex work, and Clayton would start to tag along. He would either wait outside the motel door, a car door, or even watch. And he loved to watch.
I forgot he was pimping her out a bit.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, God.
Yeah. This made Beatrice uneasy that he was watching, but as long as Clayton was happy, she didn't mind. She got the job done.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
Poor thing.
So poor thing, exactly. So when would they do this? Well, after putting the kids to bed and threatening them that the boogeyman will come and like kill them,
oh my God.
They would head up local bars and go only after drunk white men, since Clayton hated people of color.
Was this like their own version of Elzebon?
Yeah, literally. Also, fun fact about Clayton, he was terrified of indigenous people, Native Americans.
Why? Did they say why?
Because in the book, like basically, long story short, he got into a really big fight with them, and they like literally 12 men jumped him.
Oh shit!
Yeah, and he is terrified of them because he's like, if I fuck with one, I fuck with many.
Well, karma's a bitch. That's all I can say.
Yeah, karma's a bitch. So he hated them, but he was also really scared of them. He knew never to fuck with them. So business was booming for Clayton, and his earnings were increasing from not only his logging business, but also because Beatrice was going into sex work, and he was collecting from her as well. He was taking a big cut. With the new earnings, he was able to purchase some land to begin logging more and more and earning more and more. Meanwhile, Beatrice would use the cleared land to build, plant, and like a vegetable garden, have a little farm on.
Okay.
To provide for the family.
Yeah.
Like grow anything really.
Yeah.
Beatrice's sister would often come over and revel at Beatrice's garden. Then in an offhand comment, her sister mentioned picnics and how much fun they were. And this sparked the idea of Beatrice to have a very first picnic with her family. Beatrice thought there was something only like the rich people do, only the fancy people do. And she's like, well, if my sister can have a picnic, I want to have a picnic with my family. I've never done that before. So she made Clayton a huge meal that night, right? Mm-hmm. All the fixins. And Clayton knew that this meant that she wanted something because she's done this before. Beatrice talked about how they should all take a picnic and be together as a family, and it would be a lasting memory for them and the kids, right?
Yeah.
She's saying, this would be a great moment. Let's have a picnic.
Yeah, and I mean, she didn't have that before, so of course she wants to build that family dynamic now with her family that she's building, so it makes sense. Yeah.
So Clayton hated the idea.
Of course he did.
He hated the chick. He didn't express it right away, but he hated it. He thought, like, why go out and eat on the ground with all the bugs and the flies? We can eat at a table in their own home with no bugs indoors.
Oh my God.
But, he agreed. He agreed.
Okay.
And the very next day, they took off for the picnic. Right? Okay. So Beatrice, again, went all out because it's a big deal. It's the first picnic. Made chicken legs, macaroni salad, and cake. She told Clayton of like the perfect spot, but Clayton was like, "No, I have a better one in mind. I know it's a really big field, and we're gonna go have a good time. I know a really good spot." So she's like, "Okay, cool." She's not gonna argue with Clayton because no one ever wants to argue with Clayton. So they pulled off into a big clearing, and they all hopped out. Clayton laid down the bedsheet, and his family sat down, ready to enjoy their time. But what they didn't know was that Clayton purposely chose this spot. Because where the spot was, and where he sat his family down and put the nice big old sheet down, was that it was on top of a massive red ant mound. And by the family sitting down and placing the food, it had stirred up all the ants, and they began attacking the family. He made sure that this picnic would be one they would never forget, and it would be the last Beatrice would ever ask for.
That's so sad. He sabotaged the whole thing.
Yep, and as Clayton stood there laughing at his family while his family was shaking off all the biting ants, because he never sat down, he just stood there and watched. Beatrice spat on him and told him very angrily, "By the way, I'm pregnant again. Why don't you wipe that shitty-ass grin from your face?"
And who knows whose baby it could be now, because...
Exactly.
Oh,
I mean, we're assuming that it's Clayton's, but yeah. Who knows?
That's not my
I don't know
fucking
if they
thought
were
about
wearing
it.
condoms. Exactly. Yeah, so Clayton's an asshole. He did that shit on purpose. So, what a dick. So, yeah. Fun fact. After this, she would begin to crush up sleeping pills and add it to all of his drinks and food, and he never found out. She did say she wanted to put acid in his drinks,
Oh my God.
but he would more than likely taste it and find out. So she just kept crushing sleeping pills into his step, and he would just pass out.
Damn. I'm wondering if she also did it maybe as a way to protect herself and her family, since he's been pretty ruthless, or she just, and she's being petty at the same time. I don't know.
Yeah, I think it's a mix of both.
Yeah.
Yeah. God, it's so weird knowing what I already know, because like what we've said in part 1 is that, yeah, Clayton is pretty abusive. They come from really fucked up, past.
Yeah.
And that she does have 2 kids. One looks more like him. One looks more like her. Of course, he doesn't like the other one, Tony, that looks more like her. And like he kind of treats him like shit, but we haven't even got to the point where it gets so abusive yet. And it's so wild to see your reaction, being like, "Oh, she's trying to protect the family," knowing what I know. So just know that it gets so much more fucked.
Okay. Okay. All right.
So Beatrice is now pregnant. Wow. Soon Beatrice would give birth to Alice. Giving birth to a girl made Beatrice so uneasy. As quoted from the book, Beatrice began to feel uncomfortable about her changing family. Boys had been predictable, and eventually she would make them earn their keep by protecting her when the time came. A girl didn't feel right to her. Her stir of jealousy cleared her mind from exhaustion of pushing. Little girls were temptations and homewreckers. She knew that Clayton wouldn't be able to resist.
Oh no. No.
And that doesn't give you an insight of things to come.
No.
Clayton was over the moon excited. He had a brand new, untouched little girl of his very own.
Oh, I hate that.
Yeah,
I hate that.
I hate it so much. When I read that, I had to put that in because that was in the book, and I couldn't leave that out.
Oh, I hate that.
Gives you a clear insight of what's going to happen.
Oh, disgusting.
He knew he was going to train her well. Alice was Clayton's property now. Soon they would be arm in arm, as Beatrice was just a few steps behind. Clayton knew that in time, the girl he was raising would bring in top dollar when the time came. Clayton knew that, yes, this one would be his forever to have and to hold.
Ew, wait a minute. As in, what context? Oh, no. His own daughter?
So Beatrice began to hate her daughter, Alice, even as an infant, because she knew of Clayton's fascination. But if anything were to ever happen to her, Beatrice just might go missing, because Clayton loved Alice. Due to Beatrice having to help log and help with 3 kids, she would often tie Alice to a tree to keep her locked.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, like tie her to a tree with like a long rope so she can like roam around, or they would keep her locked in the truck with the windows rolled down,
like a dog,
and strap. Yeah, so that she wouldn't wander off. And she was again an infant, like a baby. So, also guess what? They brought in a cardboard box, home in a cardboard box, just like the other 2.
Yeah, I was gonna say like the other ones. Oh my god.
Yeah, so life at home began to change. Clayton would then add extensions to the house for his growing family. This meant more rooms, a bigger kitchen, and a cellar that would flood every spring. Yeah, because he dug into the ground, not really thinking about like the climate and where he was living, and he just kind of like dug it into the dirt and was like, "I have a cellar now." And like that's not how that works.
Dumb shit.
Yeah, and he during that time too, he would fill it with fish so that during the winter months he would go fishing. Because it would fill with water, and then he would just have fish in there.
I mean, resourceful, I guess.
I guess it's fucking
making the best out of a shitty situation.
yeah, literally. So all through the help of Beatrice's sex work, that's how he was able to do all this stuff to the house. Beatrice would soon become a hot commodity as men found her more attractive that she had given birth to 3 children already.
Why is that more attractive?
I don't know. Something about like they mentioned in the book a little bit more, but it was like she had like a glow about her. Like people like the extra flab of skin when you get pregnant. Like they like just love that.
Okay, interesting.
So they paid more because they wanted that.
Interesting.
Okay.
I mean, I'm not kink shaming or anything, but
yeah, I'm not kink shaming, but it's different.
Yeah.
She got more money for it. Congratulations, Beatrice. Well, soon Beatrice would give birth to yet another child.
Oh my God! What is this, number 4?
Yeah. So, yeah, technically. So in the middle of work, as she was moving heavy logs, she had extreme abdominal pain. She knew these pains meant one thing, that she was going to give birth. But she was too far away from Clayton or the other kids to get any kind of help, so she just kind of sat down in the middle of the woods and gave birth on her own.
Oh, wow, that's low-key badass.
Yeah. Although she didn't know she was pregnant at the time, she thought all the pains that she'd been having those couple months were just like her stomach and like back pains and stuff. She just thought it was something attributed to that from all the hard work she was doing, not because she was pregnant.
Wow, not even like menstrual pains or something?
Yeah, no. She just thought, it's because I'm doing all this really heavy, aggressive work helping my husband with logging.
Okay, all right.
So, yeah. So now, all of a sudden, she's in labor.
Shit.
Yeah, so suddenly the baby comes out, and it is really small.
Oh?
And it is a stillborn.
Oh, no.
Yeah. Beatrice could care less.
Oh, wow.
So she just dropped it on a pile of leaves and dirt. She shrugged it off and walked back home.
What the?
To her, it was, yeah. So to her, it was just dead anyway, and she couldn't do anything for it. So what use does she have for it now?
That's so interesting because it's like it seems like she's either really emotionally attached or very unattached. There's no in between.
No, there's no in between at all, and I think it just has to do with all the abuse that she's had growing up. And to her, well, there's nothing I can do. I'm fine. The baby's dead. Like what else? Like what else could I do?
Or
if I'm thinking like Beatrice,
yeah, or like only things that benefit her and her, quote unquote, maybe the family is when she has the attachment, and just unattaching because literally this has no use for her kind of thing, kind of like tagging off of what you're saying.
And then 2, she probably didn't say anything either to her family about this, her stillborn, is because if Clayton found out, Clayton could have kicked her ass.
Yeah.
Like, what did you do to harm my next child?
Yeah, especially if it was another fucking girl.
Yeah, so she just left it out in the woods and let what nature does itself and have critters come and pick it up and carry it along.
Oh my God. That's so crazy.
Yeah, so Beatrice would never hurt Alice in front of Clayton, because if she did, Beatrice would like get a fucking beating worse than Alice had received, because Alice too would get beaten by Clayton, hit. A lot of the kids would be hit a lot. But when Clayton wasn't around, Beatrice would send her son Tony to go out and play with the goat, and then very sweetly invite Alice to her.
Oh no.
Right? Because again, couldn't beat Alice in front of Clayton, because then Clayton would kick her ass. But the minute Clayton left, all forget.
Oh God.
So Beatrice would rip the clothes off of Alice's back, leaving Alice naked, and then and by the way, she was like 6 years old.
Oh.
She would force Alice, who was naked at the time, would force her to climb up a steep ladder that went into the very cramped attic space filled with spiders and wasps. She would then remain up there for hours and have to balance on the high beams as to not fall at least 7 feet through drywall and onto the floor.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah. So Tony did catch this once and called his mom out on it, and was like, Beatrice's excuse was that Alice needed to learn her ABCs, and this was the only way that she would be able to concentrate.
Yep, naked and afraid.
Yeah, literally. Beatrice cared whether or not Tony saw, but what he might have let slip to Clayton about it later, that's what she worried about.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so her goal was not to kill Alice, right? But was to make her life a living hell. And just like the master manipulator Beatrice was becoming, she would then sew her daughter a new dress after she had just torn up the one that was on Alice's back. And as Alice watched from the rafters at her mother sewing her brand new dress, Alice really didn't realize how much her own mother despised her.
Jesus Christ. So it's... okay. Excuse me. Psychologist Dr. Devin coming in. Okay. You would think that Beatrice would try and give these kids a better life, knowing what she went through and having this abusive husband that also had a really shitty life, and try and give them something better, you know, based on their own experiences. But yet she's doing the fucking complete opposite. And I know it's mainly because she fucking has all this resentment from her husband taking such a liking to her, but Jesus Christ. And then trying to give her like that empathy after, and oh, so sorry, here sweetie, have this,
here's a new dress. Yeah
that's so fucked.
And I'm just gonna I know it is fucked. It's like manipulation at its finest. And then too, it could be Beatrice, if her life is such a wreck, right, and she's getting abused, she could definitely turn around and make life better for her kids and just take all the heat and abuse off of them and put it onto her. But no, she's like, well, if my life is fucking crashing around me and I'm getting beaten, why can't you? Yeah. I'm going to let all my aggression on you, and especially Alice, because my husband has a liking to you. Yeah. Because you're a girl.
Yeah, and it seemed like in the beginning, that's what she, you know, once she started having the kids, it seemed like that's what it was going towards, was taking care of him, everything, because it was mainly Clayton that was the only one that was being so abusive already. So it's like it's a whole game changer. And then poor little Alice is there thinking that this is going to be a normal situation. Mommy's gonna play these games with me and do all this stuff, but I'm gonna get a treat after. That's so fucked up. She's being conditioned to knowing she's gonna get something out of this, and it's so sad. Sorry, it is. It's just playing through.
Like I said, that's what this is, a very heavy case, and it just gets heavy.
Oh my god.
So, hold on, I'm yawning. Okay, so Beatrice would soon become a mother again.
Oh my fucking god.
Yeah, and she knew exactly what this baby was going to be, and a mother's intuition never lies, and it was going to be another girl.
Oh, shit.
And with that, Clayton would have another plaything. Sadie would come into the world, only to be raised by her older sister Alice. Sadie wouldn't be loved by her mother Beatrice, as of course. And soon the 4 children in the home, Beatrice got too overwhelmed with so many kids and got a babysitter. Right? So Beatrice caught the babysitter abusing her children, especially abusing Sadie. And she caught her in the act of abusing her kids. And apparently that was too much. You don't abuse my kids.
Yeah. I was going to say only I can abuse them.
I abuse them. She fired the babysitter, but kept in mind of what kind of abuse she put on the children so that Beatrice could add it to her book of abuse for later purposes.
Of course.
And one of those was placing the kids in the corner. You know how we used to stand in the corner if we got in trouble? But she would make them kneel on their knees in the corner, but have them kneel on clothespins. Yeah. And then would have them move every so often so that they never got like settled into that. Yeah.
So it's like restarting the pain every here and there.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh my fucking god. Oh my god.
Yeah, exactly. Well, 6 years pass, and guess what would happen, Devin?
What? No more babies, please. Come on, no more babies.
Another baby.
Jesus. Scoop that woman out already.
Beatrice would give birth to Tara Lynn, who was a survivor of this heroin case and the one who was writing this book in her testimony.
Oh, I didn't realize that this story was written from her perspective. Or not her perspective, but like the history. I didn't realize the daughter wrote it.
Yeah, everything. Yeah, as the daughter.
Oh, wow, that's cool.
So she would be the first ever to be child to be put into a wooden crib, as the other 4 children received cardboard boxes.
Okay.
Beatrice had enough children and didn't want to bear any more of Clayton's offspring, so she invested in an IUD. So right after she gave birth, she got an IUD. So for campers, if you guys don't know what an IUD is, I went on Google and I found the definition.
Oh, you're so cute.
So basically, it stands for that's a fucking hard word. Intrauterine. That's a fucking weird word. It's basically a device that goes inside your uterus. Yep. It's a small piece of flexible plastic that's shaped like a T, and this tiny device that is put into your uterus is to prevent pregnancy.
Yeah, it slowly releases hormones that your body starts caving into, and it just it's a form of birth control, so you don't get preggers, and it's pretty effective. Modern ones nowadays are a little bit easier. Back then, I can't even imagine so, because I know a lot of them are made of copper and they're very uncomfortable and stuff like that. So, there's been a lot of cases where there's been complications of it in the past. So I can't imagine back then how it would be. Nowadays, it's a little more comfortable.
So she got one of these things, so that she could stop popping out Clayton's babies.
Yeah, no kidding.
So, growing up was hard for Tara Lynn. I think we can imagine how hard it was gonna be for her. Tara Lynn and her siblings went through physical and psychological abuse. Clayton let his sons have way more freedom than his girls. They were able to do, his sons were able to do like activities and like go on dates and be like teenage boys, where the girls were forced to like stay home, work on the farm that had now begun, or do tons of housework. School was a vacation for the kids and a vacation from their narcissistic father and the abuse. For even if it were only for like half the day, at least they were like away from it.
Yeah, like it's their escape. That's sad when kids are liking school because their parents suck.
Literally. So, Clayton would stop calling them by their actual names given to them at birth. Well, the girls at least. He would give the girls nicknames, and how their nicknames would be given while Clayton was hammered. So if he was drunk, that's when he came up with these names.
Oh, God.
So Alice's name would be called Speedy Gonzales, and later it was changed to Dynamite because he thought her daughter was Dynamite. Ew. Yeah, which Beatrice hated.
Yeah.
Sadie was named Togo after a male wrestler that Clayton had seen on the TV while drunk.
Stupid.
Yeah, and our lovely Tara Lynn was named Sam, named after a dog that was quote-unquote dumbest fucking dog ever lived, according to Clayton.
So was he implying that his daughter was the dumbest fucking kid he's ever had?
Yep, basically.
Wow. Jeez. How, you know what? He can't even be unique or original. He has to fucking use other sources.
Yeah, he's something else.
You're an asshole.
So the kids put up with the nicknames and the girls put up with the abuse because there was no winning against a man like Clayton or Beatrice.
Yeah, no.
Their goal was to keep quiet, stay alive, and hopefully one day be free.
Wow. Oh, that's so fucked up.
Yeah. So once Tara Lynn grew out of her crib, mind you, she's still a baby.
Yeah.
Once Tara Lynn grew out of her crib, her mom instantly broke it down and turned it into firewood. Considering now she got an IUD, she was no longer gonna have any more babies and had no use for this crib.
Quote unquote.
Yeah. So Tara Lynn would now find her new bed on top of a dilapidated dresser that Beatrice shoved up against a wall. Her mattress was the one that was from the crib.
So what you're telling me is she's going to sleep on top of this dresser, she's going to roll in the middle of the night, and boop.
Yep. So Tara Lynn, obviously being too big, because she was at least 4 to 6 years old around this time, she would easily fall off the narrow bed, and knew that one wrong turn would result in a dangerous tumble onto the floor below.
Oh, God.
Right? So she says it was like a constant balancing act as she slept high on top of the dresser.
Oh, my God. Poor thing.
Yeah. And to make matters worse, during the rainy spring months, Tara Lynn would have to share her bed. Not with her brother, or with her sisters, or even her shitty parents, but with black ground beetles that were seeking shelter from the rain and somewhere dry.
Oh, like sleeping with bugs.
Yeah, sleeping with bugs. So I have an excerpt of her talking about it in the book. I'm going to read it. The first night that I met my new bedmates face to face, I was trying to fluff some life into my wafer thin pillow. As I lifted up the mattress, hundreds of unsuspecting ground beetles startled, began running in all directions for cover and a place to hide from the light. Oh, impulsively, a blood-curdling scream escaped from my lips before I had a chance to think twice about what I had just done.
Oh, no.
My sisters' faces became pale, horror-stricken, not so much for the beetles, now making the bed covers quiver, but for the storm I had just likely unleashed in the living room where Beatrice and Clayton sat down watching the news.
Figured so.
Yeah. So Beatrice, in charge of the task of figuring out what the hell all the screaming was about, made her presence known as she stood with hands on hips in the doorway.
Oh.
Bugs, 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 I whimpered as a steady stream of tears pulled down my neckline of my nightgown. Mm-hmm. She was terrified. Pointing in the direction of the makeshift bed, I knew it would either win Beatrice over fast or take a beating for my outburst because of the bugs. The look on Beatrice's face was out of character and was hard to read. A smile broke out on her face and quickly turned to laughter. Get back in bed and stop worrying about a few little bugs. They can't hurt you anyway. They are more afraid of you than you should be of them. Tomorrow we will see if there's a hole in the wall behind the dresser, and if so, we will put a rag in it.
Oh, okay. Right. So that went a little better than expected. Well, Beatrice would never fill the hole in the wall where the beetles were, because it was a good source of entertainment. And she used it as a tactic. Yeah. She used it as a tactic to keep Taryn in line. And she would say, "Someday I will see about those bugs if you are good." How manipulative.
Uh-huh.
Wow. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I hate it because she's smart. She's fucking smart in such a sadistic way.
Mm-hmm. So, we talked about the family picnic. Well, they had a family night. They would have this often. Have a little family night together. Oh, let me tell you all about it.
I feel like this is going to be the most dysfunctional family night I can hear about.
You read everybody's mind. Well, if family during the day wasn't scary or abusive enough, Clayton loved to have family night, which was him drunkenly waking everybody up in the middle of the night at 2 a.m.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. What would happen only once a week would then soon turn into a nightly occurrence. Oh. He would either A, scream at you to wake up, or B, deck you across the face like he often did to Beatrice to wake her up.
Every fucking night? Oh my god.
Yeah, so if you scream, you woke up, or you're getting decked in the face if you're not up.
Oh, hell no.
Yeah. Clayton would then usher Beatrice to get an orange or a grapefruit out of the fridge, and they would play their game.
What the fuck?
Yeah, Tony would stand on one side of the kitchen table and Beatrice at the other end. They would push the orange or grapefruit back and forth to one another along the table. They had to keep doing this in a constant motion, and if it stopped or fell off the table, there were major consequences.
Oh my god, what is this, Saw?
Yeah, so the easiest way to make sure this didn't happen was they were normally set on the floor of the living room spread eagle, forming a triangle between the players' legs so that the orange or grapefruit had a lesser chance of leaving the playing field.
God, the
rules, yeah. The rules of the game were actually quite simple. Keep the fruit in constant motion by rolling it to each player, clockwise if more than 2 players, or simply back and forth if only 2 players.
Okay.
Stray fruit was a direct sign of disrespect and would cost them all dearly. If the fruit became motionless, that would be a penalty, a severe penalty. As with any game, all players had to remain enthusiastic and eager to continue playing.
God, okay.
Clayton would often serenade them by strumming on his old broken down guitar to keep them awake and lively, so no one would ever fall asleep or become weary during their family night.
Oh my god, the original camp insomnia.
Literally. And if you want to see this, Devin, if you watch, well, I'll suggest you watch the Haunted, the episode where they kind of show this. Uh-huh. They show this actual game in the episode. They reenact it.
Oh, yeah.
And it's terrifying because he's just strumming really slowly, singing, drunk, as they're like in the living room with, because all that was, they didn't have electricity.
Yeah.
All they had was like the fireplace going, and they're just pushing it back and forth. And if one of them fucked up, he would just deck him. He would beat the shit out of him.
Oh, I'm just like picturing it. Oh my god. I'll have to check it out. I'll probably check it out after this. I'm hella curious.
Anyways, so one family night, as Terilyn was forced to play this game by passing the fruit back and forth to her mother on the floor, Terilyn noticed something.
What?
Just beyond her mother was her, Alice, and Sadie's bedroom. And their bedroom door was made out of like a makeshift curtain, and this is what she saw. And this is I took this from the book because it's her account. The first time I saw her at the bottom of the makeshift curtain that served as a door to the room that I share with Alice and Sadie, I had just taken a cuff to my right ear for not being a team player. It seemed that I had foolishly closed my eyes for a moment, and my head had jerked noticeably when I regained my senses. The nylon curtain slowly parted, forming a capital letter A about a foot from the floor. As if someone was lying on their belly, peering at us through the curtain, a figure appeared. Unfortunately, this person seemed to be missing her body from the waist down. The old woman looked angry. Her stark white hair was pulled tightly into a bun pinned to the back of her head. Her eyes were cold, set deeply into the back of her sockets. With large, dark pupils, she looked frightening. Her mouth was puckered as if she had been sampling the grapefruit that was turning into juice on the kitchen table. A loosely crocheted shawl was draped over her shoulders, which she held tight with arms folded across her chest. The fringe from the shawl blended into the floor and seemed to slightly flutter from the movement of the air coming in from the open window. She continued to glare without speaking. I guess she didn't appreciate my nodding off either. Fearing that I was somehow asleep, I turned away from the woman and started rolling with gusto, singing an old Loretta Lynn favorite of my mother's. Perhaps the song would serve a dual purpose and possibly score me some brownie points with Pt.2. Now feeling certain that I was really awake, I turned to look at the bottom of the curtains again, and the woman's eyes met mine with their cold, intimidating glare. Had she been insulted that I had turned away? Was this someone else who would demand my respect, giving nothing in return? But for whatever reason, I was the only one who ever saw the old woman in the curtain. After the first few minutes of pointing toward the bottom of the stairs, trying to show Sadie something she could not see for herself, I gave up. There was always enough worry to go around, so I accepted that maybe the old woman was just my problem. I would continue to see her several more times over the course of our years of late-night craziness. Her expression never changed. She would just stare for a few minutes and then would be gone until the next time. The old woman was just the beginning. It was as if she were the master of ceremonies, the announcer of things to come. I knew that we were not alone in the house. It was difficult not knowing if this was a comforting turn of events or if in fact the other world that coexisted with us was much like Beatrice and Clayton. Was it a surreal world that somehow I had become a part of, leaving behind all the others? Yes, I would come to know the others who lived just beyond the curtain, whether I wanted to or not.
What a fucking statement. Holy shit.
Yeah, so now she's starting to see spirits, and probably really evil ones.
Yeah.
In her home, which makes sense because both of them have experienced creepy shit. Well, I guess Beatrice has. I don't know about Clayton.
Yeah. I'm wondering because this is, when they do all this shenanigans, it's in the fucking middle of the night. So I'm wondering if either, maybe there is some sort of, she's really seeing something spiritual, like some sort of demonic shit, or the exhaustion is catching up to her and she's now hallucinating. So
yeah, no, that's valid too.
So I don't know. That's kind of interesting. I mean, I don't know.
A terrifying woman, an old creepy woman laying on the floor, missing her just the torso.
Yeah, it's like, what the fuck? It's so fucking random.
Yeah. So we're going to talk more about Clayton now.
Okay.
Clayton loved to make friends with strangers, and he loved to make friends with drifters. He would charm the hell out of them,
of course,
and would welcome them into his home with open arms. He didn't care what kind of bum they were. They would soon become his pets. Well, he referred to them as such. Clayton would then categorize his pets into friendship longevity. The friends that had cars or made some kind of money would be his long-term friends. Clayton loved the ones that depended on him for a safe ride home, and those became his favorites, and he called them strays.
Because it's easier to manipulate. They don't have a source of
exactly.
transportation, so he can just fucking do whatever he wants with them.
Clayton provided these strays and drifters an evening of fun and all-you-could-drink love fest. He would also let them have a go at his wife, Beatrice, and he would watch.
Wait, side note. How the fuck is he affording all that shit if you're always fucking getting people drunk?
Literally. Well, he's making bank. He really is. And then, too, he's manipulating people into giving him more money.
True.
Yeah. And he did all of this so that when Clayton needed a favor, they would have to comply. And if they didn't, they were met with punishment.
Of course.
Yeah. Clayton would often call these drifters and strays weak fucking canaries and whores that needed to be taught a lesson.
Wow, he really is like a fucking ringleader.
Yeah. So, and this whole show of being friends and getting them wasted was all an act. Yeah, so they can provide favors for him and Beatrice later, but there was something more.
Oh, no.
That many would soon come to find out to fear the last one to leave one of Clayton's wild parties.
Oh. I'm starting to get a bad feeling about all this shit now. Oh.
Clayton was known for concocting his own pure grain alcohol through a pressure cooker that sat still atop the kitchen stove. And he was able to hold a little more than his drinking partners, and that came in handy when things had to be wrapped up for the rest of the night, and he required a clearer head. First, he would send the people home that had vehicles, and the ones that could drive somewhat safely away into the night. But the drunker the drive, the more fun a game for Clayton. He loved knowing that the semi-conscious people were driving on the roads, and soon they would crash and become a victim of his as well. So he loved the fact that they were drunk.
Oh my god, fucking sick fuck.
He's like, ooh, let's see who's going to make it home safe. Let's see.
It's all a game for him.
Yeah, it is a game. He loves it. He finds excitement in it. It's adrenaline.
Yeah.
So somehow, some reason why, there was always one drunk that was last to leave, either a man or a woman, and they would never truly leave. The girls knew when there was one person left, and that's when they would be awake normally, because they're all loud, getting drunk and making noise. The girls would hear what would come next as they sat together with their ears pressed up against the walls and looked into the windows for any signs of movement. And with muted shuffling, the cellar door would open, and hollow-sounding thuds could be heard as something heavy made contact with each cellar step. That night's guest would remain on the wet cellar floor until the morning, when he could be laid to rest with Clayton's coyotes up on the hill.
Wait, whoa, that was a lot. Wait, so break it down a little bit.
He would take them into the cellar. He would murder them. Then in the early morning, he would take them up the mountain, leave the body for the coyotes to eat.
Wow. Ballsy.
Yeah. Yeah, him and Beatrice would do this.
Together?
Yeah. Together. It was fun for them. It was adrenaline.
Oh my god. Okay.
And so they knew that once Clayton ended up taking the body to the top of the hill, where the coyotes would then, rip the bodies apart and eat them, the girls knew that the scariest part was over.
Oh my god.
This would happen on multiple occasions. Multiple occasions. And the last person to leave would never truly leave. And because they were drifters and strays, no one ever missed them.
Wow. That's intense.
Yeah, and he would do that often. And sometimes he would even, after killing them, dance with their dead bodies in the living room.
Oh my god, that just reminded me.
What?
Do you remember an interview in The Vampire when...
Oh, yeah, and he's dancing with her?
Yes, when the stat picked up the mom.
The dead body.
It was... yeah, they're fucking dancing around the living room. Oh, God.
Maybe not that funny, but yeah. So Clayton always felt rejuvenated after these evenings. Something about the rush of adrenaline seemed to calm him. And every morning after he would walk up the hill to check and see if the coyotes had received their breakfast, and when he would still find the scattered remains of the bodies not fully eaten, he would just know that nature would still clean up the rest, if not the coyotes.
Wow, he didn't even try and hide
bugs and birds. No, And that was his land. No one is ever going to come up there. No one's ever going to miss these people to him. No one's ever going to come looking for him. No one's ever going to go to the top of this hill where he would put these bodies and have nature just, clean it up for him.
He's being hella ballsy though by doing that. But I guess,
but then again, this is like the 40s, 50s, so
that, and then he's kind of like like I said, the ringleader. He's the king of all this shit. He has all these people with him, so why would they suspect him?
Exactly. And they're not going to question him because they'll kick his ass. He'll kick their ass.
Yeah.
So Clayton loved to play mind games, and especially loved to do so when cooking meals for the family. He would serve them horse meat often with meals, but when the price in that went up, he would give them meat, anything that he can get his hands on, and that turned out to be like a lot of roadkill. He would never eat it, but he would sure love watching his family do so.
Oh my god.
Fucking asshole. To make matters worse, he loved to go around the table whipping everyone with his leather belt as they ate the disgusting meat and overly boiled vegetables that they were given. Yeah. One night, that soon turned to a couple nights, he gave the family mystery meat. No one could figure out what it was.
No.
And it wasn't deer because it wasn't velvety enough, or bear because bear wasn't in season. All it was were very large cuts of meat with a particular sweet flavor.
Ew, no.
But as they ate it, Clayton watched with fascination. The mystery meat night would happen very often.
Oh, I wonder why.
Yeah. And this was another way of controlling the children Clayton had so selfishly spared.
Oh my god.
Unselfishly.
Oh my god. Yeah. This poor girl.
What do you think that mystery meat was? Human, maybe? A drifter? A stray?
It just might be. Fuck, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, fucking Clayton, man. Again, I told you that this story is heavy.
Wait, hold on. Pause. I gotta pee now. My nervousness is kicking in.
Okay. I'm gonna go get more water.
Okay.
All right, so we're gonna switch gears a little bit and talk about poor Alice, one of his loving daughters that he cherishes so much. So this is the part that almost made me cry. So I'm sorry.
Okay. But
Alice couldn't take the abuse from Beatrice anymore, right? I mean, the psychological and physical abuse that she had to go through. And more, she leaned on Clayton to be her knight in shining armor because she knew that Clayton wouldn't harm her as often and as hard as Beatrice did. And she knew that if Beatrice was caught, that Clayton would come in and save the day and kick her ass. Yeah. So Clayton would often take Alice down a dirt road path behind the gardens and expose himself to her.
Jesus.
Yeah. This part almost made me cry, and I'm getting teary-eyed right now about it because it's not her fault. She's just trying to do it so that she can get away from her abusive mother. And not that Clayton's any better, but she had to do what she had to do to survive.
She really, like you said, she's looking up to him as a savior, and of course she's going to latch on to him, but it's like, no matter what, she's going to be dealt with such a fucked up situation because they're both just fucked up. Yeah. So that made me cry last night reading that. So Beatrice would watch ever so closely and wait for the perfect time to strike back because she knew that this was going on. Alice would soon begin to have menstrual cycles, right? Because she's getting older. Due to the fact that she was becoming a young woman, Beatrice would wait until she would smell the blood leaving from Alice, and then pin her down, rip off her blood-soaked panties, and begin to swing them around like a flag of victory. Beatrice would then demand Alice to stand naked in front of Sadie and Tara Lynn so that they could see what a whore looked like. And although Alice was shaking from fear and shame, she kept her head up held high. What? Wait, why would that be such a victory for her? I don't understand.
Because she's embarrassing her.
Oh, I see. I was like,
she's calling her a whore. Only whores bleed.
Oh, because I'm looking at worst case scenario, I guess. Because in my head I was thinking, oh fuck, is this a win for her? Because now she can. Oh, I don't want to fucking bring it there, but now that maybe Clayton can have access to her.
Yeah, and then Alice can also get pregnant.
Exactly.
So Alice had enough of the emotional and psychological abuse, and as a way of getting back at Beatrice, she began to tear into her own skin with her nails. She ended up breaking her body up and down across her entire body to the point where blood would begin to drizzle down out of these cuts. She knew that once Clayton saw this, Beatrice would soon get a beating. And when Beatrice saw what Alice had done, she knew that all hell was going to break loose on her.
Making it seem like...
Clayton wouldn't believe Beatrice. So you hurt my daughter. Look, you made her bleed.
Exactly.
Now I'm going to kick your fucking ass within an inch of your life.
I hate to say it, that's almost low. I guess she wasn't doing it for that intention, but like that's low-key smart in a sense. I hate to say it that way.
So Beatrice, of course, was then beaten within an inch of her life, and all the while, Alice sat in the kitchen humming while this was going on. When Clayton was done with Beatrice, he complimented Alice on her humming. He said, "Wow, I like that song. I like that hum. You should do that more often."
The fuck?
Because Alice wanted to be there to watch her mom get beat.
Jesus.
Yeah. So Beatrice has now lost the upper hand. Alice was head bitch now. And just like that, she would make Clayton beat Beatrice for almost anything. Damn. This began a vicious power struggle between the three, which in return made their world all more unstable.
Wow. What the fuck? That was a turn of events.
Yeah, so summer came, thankfully, I guess, and the boys went off to their summer jobs, and the girls stayed behind to help with gardening and such, and the two oldest girls would stay with Clayton's mom, whom, by the way, hated Clayton's kids, all except Curtis, the firstborn. Literally, Clayton's mom loved Curtis so much that she bought him a grand piano for his birthday, 1 year.
What the fuck? Okay.
Yeah, because she praised him. Like that was her grandson. The other ones, she can care less about.
Yeah, what the
like she would often come over with gifts, and they would only be for Curtis. And if she ever gave him any other gifts, it were hand-me-downs. All new clothes for Curtis, but for like Tony, Sadie, Terrell, and Alice, all hand-me-downs, holes in it.
Wow.
She didn't give a shit. Or sometimes they would never get gifts. Yeah.
I'm surprised she did it in general.
Yeah, so Curtis knew this and used the favoritism to get out of a lot of beatings and abuse.
Yep.
Yeah. Besides the point, Terrell would often stay home and clean house and garden. And then one summer day, Clayton came out to the garden to invite Terrell to the lake. Terrell was super excited. She had never been to the lake before or even seen one, and was starting to think maybe her dad was starting to be a dad. Wow, he wants to hang out with me. He wants to take me to the lake. We have a boat. We're going to go, have fun, go swimming. It'll be fun.
Oh, no.
So a man named Ray also lived on the property with the family, whom Clayton treated like a slave. He lived in a small shack on the property, and how Clayton would beckon him into the house for any help was to unplug the electricity to the shack, and this would let Ray know that Clayton needed him. By this time, they have electricity now. So he did just that because Clayton needed help with the boat and hitching it to the truck, and Clayton told Ray that he would be taking Terrell with him to the lake. Right, I'm gonna take my daughter. Need you to hook up the boat with me, thanks. So just then, when he said that he was going to take Terrell with him to the lake, Ray shot a look at Terrell with pure terror. Terrell saw this, and her intuition said that maybe she shouldn't go with Clayton, because Ray might be trying to warn her about something without actually saying anything.
Okay.
Terrell then told her father that she changed her mind, and she would rather stay to finish up on the chores, and that maybe next time she would tag along. Clayton took it well and took off to the lake with Ray. Come to find out later that Clayton would play sink or swim with Terrell in the lake. And what this was the game was played out in the center of the lake without a life vest. The rules were quite simple. Players were shoved off the side of the boat, the winner would swim back to the boat, and the losers would simply sink until they drowned. And he would do this with all the kids.
Individually?
Uh-huh.
Oh my god.
Yeah. So Ray saved Terrell's life because Terrell didn't even know how to swim.
Fuck. Oh my god, she would have been dead right there.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
This dude's sick.
Yeah, so winter came, and with Curtis now moved out of the home after graduating high school and getting a full ride into college for music, because, he's been playing the grand piano, It was just Tony and the three girls. Winter was blistering, and with only the fire being in the living room and only being for Clayton and Beatrice, the other kids were left to their bedrooms to cuddle for body warmth. Clayton began around this time to start posting pictures of naked women all over his room and other various parts of the home. Clayton wanted to spark up some kind of lesbianism in the home to spice things up, but the girls didn't quite understand what he was trying to do and thought he was just having one of his weird moments.
Oh my god, he was trying to get his daughters to fuck each other in front of him?
I guess, yeah. Something like that.
Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god. I can't even.
Yeah, again, when I keep telling you this case is really heavy and really dark, I'm not kidding. This is insane true crime story for everybody. One night before bedtime, the girls were in their bedroom discussing who had the hairiest legs between the three of them, right? Having a fun time doing so. You know, just Lord knows they have like small amounts of happiness in their lives with Clayton and Beatrice. And this is one of those small moments. They're having fun.
Yeah.
And being like, oh my God, you have the hairiest legs. Ha 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 ha. Well, Clayton then overheard this conversation and took it as if they were speaking about their vanity. And this pissed him off.
Wait, what do you mean by vanity? Like
vanity, like, oh, like I'm pretty. Look at my legs. My legs are prettier. All about vanity.
Oh, got it. Okay, got it.
Yeah. So Clayton would then bring all three of them into the kitchen. He lined them against the sink counter in their nightgowns barefoot. Clayton then went to the bathroom to grab a sleeve of razor blades. He then returned back to the kitchen to retrieve his box of sharp butcher knives. And this next part I'll read verbatim because this is how Tara Lynn has described the situation.
Oh, okay.
So you sluts think you're fucking pretty, do you? Clayton spat out, spraying us with a mixture of hard alcohol and tobacco juice. Resting the bulk of his body weight leaning hard against the kitchen counter, enabling Clayton to use his hands for tasks other than keeping himself upright, because he was drunk. See these fucking razor blades? Do you know how many ways I could slice up your faces? Wouldn't be so fucking pretty then, huh, would ya? Meat hanging down to your fucking ears wouldn't be hard to picture now, would it? Answer me, little fuckers. Clayton raised his voice to make us refocus our attention from the sharp little razors being swung inches from our faces up to meet his crazed, dilated blue eyes instead.
Oh my god.
No, sir, we breathed out, only loud enough for him to know that we had responded. Maybe we should take off a couple body parts too while we're at it. These knives would be sharp enough, don't you think? Clayton lightly grazed each of our necks with a long butcher knife in the box, slowly and methodically, choosing his knives in the order that would instill as much horror as possible. Fucking chop off each of you tramps up into little bitty pieces and feed you to the pigs. Who wants to go first? Beatrice watched the night's entertainment from her favorite front row seat on the couch. Her ribs still creaked and moaned from on account of opening her mouth the last time. Simple, cautious words had been too threatening to an already enraged Clayton. Don't kill him, Clay. I don't care if you rough him up, but just don't go too far. Even Beatrice could show tenderness when tested. She would wait, watch, and be ready to run if he started cutting this time. Unexpectedly, a sudden rush of air filled my lungs as I realized that the knives are now sitting back on the table, razor blades tossed aside. Bunch of cocksuckers, get your asses back to bed. Maybe I'll just wait and fucking kill you in your sleep instead, you ugly sons of bitches.
Oh my god. My heart like dropped when he said kill you in your sleep, because like at that point now, it doesn't matter. Awake, asleep, who fucking knows what he can do at this point? And he's verbalizing it.
And he knows he can murder. He's done it before.
Yeah.
With all those drifters and strays. He's done it. He likes doing it. He threatens to kill his kids. He wanted to drown Tara Lynn. Like, they're not safe.
No.
Like, psychological and physical abuse happen on the reg.
Oh my god.
So Tony, the second oldest son, Tony was like, I'm ready to get the fuck out.
Yeah.
Like all of them were. So one night after Tony had snuck out to go hang out with his fellow friends and do some like LSD and pot, fucking mood, Clayton found out that he had left and waited for him to sneak back in that night.
Oh my God.
Clayton confronted Tony, and the two went out on a full-on brawl.
Wow. Okay.
All right. With Clayton ending the fight with kicking Tony out of his home. This was saddening for Tony because he didn't know where else to go, but it was also like his freedom.
Yeah.
And to make matters worse, he was still a minor at the time, and to solidify that, Tony would no longer be coming back. Beatrice went to the police the next day, went to the police station to emancipate Tony. She was not going to take any responsibility for anything that might happen to him from that point forward.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's all it took.
Yeah.
That's all it fucking took. Yep. It was just an easy cop out for her to be like, nope, bye. You ain't ours no more.
Tony was now gone and on his own. Soon Alice would follow in suit and leave and go live with Clayton's mom. Wasn't any better? No. Because Clayton's mom didn't really like her, but it was like free labor for her. But at least she would have like an actual bed, electricity, and could take baths whenever she wanted. They would take monthly baths. And Clayton would always go first, and then it would be Beatrice, and then like, you know, oldest to youngest. Uh-huh. And by the time I got to Tara Lynn, it was literally just mud water. Ew. And it'd be cold. Tara Lynn did get caught one time bathing in the sink because it was fresh water.
Yeah.
And her mom fucking beat her ass. And then her mom would randomly come in to all the kids to see if they were actually bathing and not using the sink with a Polaroid and take pictures of them naked in the bathtub. And scare them. Yeah. And then guess who took those pictures? Guess who took those pictures, Devin?
Clayton.
Clayton did. Especially of the girls. His own kids. So, back to Alice. Eventually, she would save up enough money working with her grandma, and they would soon board a plane and fly very far away from there. It doesn't say where in the book, but she just literally got on a plane and said bye. I'm
surprised that they even let her go in the fucking beginning.
Well, to Clayton, the three kids that left him, Curtis, Tony, and Alice, they were dead to him. Oh. He even said that. Like, you leave, you're fucking dead to me.
Okay, fine, bye. I'm dead to you.
Yeah.
Can't fucking touch me ever again, then bye.
Mm-hmm. So now, Sadie and Tara Lynn are left in the home.
Oh, no.
Just the two of them. And that is where we end part 2.
Oh, my God. That was a whirlwind of emotions.
Yeah, I tell you, like, this is a really heavy case, and like campers, like, if the ones that decided to listen, I wasn't kidding. It's heavy, and this happens. This stuff like this happens, and it's shocking to hear about because not many of us are unlucky to experience anything like this. Thank God. But stuff like this does happen, and I'm just very happy to know that Tara was able to make it out alive.
Yeah.
All the kids were. So that's great. It's just, fuck.
Just
trauma.
The amount of abuse and torture, physically, mentally, you know. They probably didn't even know what day, if they were even going to live, if they were going to die, or what kind of torture and abuse that was going to happen. Like, they're living their life on just a fucking edge. Every single waking day.
I know Tara Lynn mentioned, I took out a lot of stuff in the 44 chapters that I read.
Yeah.
But one of them was she would, oh, damn it, I just lost it. Oh, I just had it. That when they would come home from school, after finishing their chores, they would go to bed instantly. Because, like, they needed that sleep, because I knew 2 a.m. would roll around and it was family night.
Yeah. Well, and then him threatening if he was gonna fucking kill them in their sleep. At that point, I'm surprised they still slept.
Oh, and another psychological torture thing that both of them would do, Beatrice and Clayton, was that, because Beatrice had to do some, sex work at night, to provide for her very dysfunctional family that she has created.
Yeah.
They would leave a half-eaten bag of chips on the table, and because these kids were so hungry, because sometimes they just wouldn't feed them for days, the kids would then, after they left, they would just share that bag of chips, all of them, like licking on the inside and out, like eat it, right? And then when they would come back, they realized, oh, wow, you guys ate that other half bag of chips. Time for me to beat all your fucking asses now.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, and it's not their fault. They were fucking hungry. You're not feeding them. And then they would be, next time, just ask.
Manipulation at its finest.
Like you'd fucking, give it to them. Exactly. Bullshit. Oh, it's fucked.
Fuck, there was something
Anyways,
I was going to say just now. Oh, I don't remember. Shit. No, I lost it. Oh well, it's fine.
So I'm gonna try to find some jokes and try to. That's gonna be hard to get us out of this funk because it is a funk. But let me find some jokes. I'm gonna put on some like relaxing music.
Yes, I dig it. Give me some like ocean waves or something like that.
Okay. All right, campers, and we're back. Hope you like that relaxing music after all that. So I have two very like 18 plus jokes for you, and that's what our podcast is. If you are not 18 plus or even like 21 plus, why are you listening?
Yeah, mature content.
You shouldn't
only.
be listening to this. Yeah, mature content only. Hence why I put all of our episodes as explicit.
Yeah.
This one is called Worms.
Oh no.
A father was trying to teach his son the evils of alcohol. He put one worm in a glass of water and another worm in a glass of whiskey. The worm in the water lived, while the one in the whiskey curled up and died.
No.
All right, son, asked the father. What does that show you? The son says, well, Dad, it shows that if you drink alcohol, you will not have worms.
Stupid. Stupid. Oh, God.
So the second one is Better Boyfriend.
Oh.
Two girls are comparing boyfriends. Oh. Mine's the best, said the first. I call him 7-Up because he's 7 inches long and he's always
Oh my
up.
God.
Oh yeah, exclaimed the other. I call my boyfriend Jack Daniels because he's the best hard liquor there is.
Oh my God. Oh my.
Oh no.
Oh my God.
So gross.
What
so
is
adult.
that? What
Love
is
it.
that? Oh my God.
Okay, campers. Well, thank you for listening. And before you guys go, I do have an update on Haunted Harold. I got a reply back from the guy on my comment because I said I'm excited but also terrified about this movie, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he goes, Zachary Yates, so am I. Back in 2013, a woman who didn't believe that the doll could be haunted did a couple of readings on the doll. That night, I was on a walk and thinking that someday I might write a book when I learn more about what the hell is going on in this doll.
Mm-hmm.
A little while later, that same woman called me with a message from Harold. He likes the idea of you writing a book about him, but not a movie. He doesn't want to be made into a circus sideshow. I thought, holy shit. All I did was think about a book or movie. Well, guess what, Harold and Abaddon?
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm going to make you a movie to expose what was behind you.
I kind of remember her, you saying that's what she said before about him, that he didn't want to he didn't want to be exposed. He didn't want to be talked about or made to be a laughing stock.
Spectacle.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
I really hope he's careful with what he's doing, and I wish him the best, and I hope he's safe.
Yeah, that's all we can wish for. So campers, pray for Mr. Antonio Quinata. Anthony Quinata, not Antonio. I'm thinking my roommate. Anthony Quinata. But yeah, campers, good luck trying to sleep tonight. And please follow us on Instagram at
@CampInsomnia_podcast.
And you can find our what in the description.
You can find the link tree, and it'll have all the links to us where we are every freaking where. So no excuses to where you can listen to us.
Exactly. And thank you, campers, for supporting us and listening. And Yeah, thank you so much. And we will see you around the campfire next time. Good luck trying to sleep tonight.
Yeah, good luck trying to sleep tonight. Make sure that just try and sleep. I can't even think of this. This one's too bad. Luck. Just trying to sleep.
This was rough. All right, bye, you guys.
Bye.
Bye.